There's a language most of us have forgotten, the language of silence. When was the last time you truly sat in silence, not distracted by music or endless scrolling, but simply being? We live in a world that celebrates noise, but silence is where truth whispers. It's in silence that the universe speaks, softly, patiently, waiting for us to listen. Every answer you seek is hidden in that sacred stillness. But we run from silence because it feels empty, when in truth, it's overflowing with life. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the space between your thoughts. That is where magic begins. Silence is not loneliness, it's connection. Connection with your own soul. So today, let us step into this space together and rediscover the whispers silence has been trying to share with you all along. We've built our lives around noise, notifications, conversations, expectations, all filling every gap of silence. But ask yourself, what are you afraid of hearing when the world goes quiet? Sometimes silence brings us face to face with our deepest truths, and that can feel uncomfortable. Yet, it is in that discomfort that real transformation begins. Noise drowns out your soul's whispers. It convinces you to keep running, keep doing, keep proving. But silence asks nothing of you, except presence. When you strip away the chaos, you realize you've always carried peace within you. The storms outside can never shake the calm inside if you learn to listen. Don't fear silence. Fear a life so loud that you never hear your own heart again. Silence is not passive, it is active, alive, and full of lessons. It teaches patience, presence, and surrender. It shows you the depth of your inner world, a world you may have neglected for too long. When you sit in silence, you begin to see life with new eyes. The little things become profound, the sound of your breath, the rhythm of your heart. In silence, you discover that you are not your thoughts, you are the space beneath them. And in that space, you find freedom. You realize that you are not broken, you were simply distracted. Silence reconnects you to your essence, the part of you that is eternal, untouched by chaos. This is the magic of silence. It doesn't add anything to you, it reveals what has always been there. Once, there was a hermit who lived by a river in complete silence. People from the village would come and ask him questions, but he would never speak. One day, a young man, frustrated by the chaos of his own life, traveled to see him. He demanded, "Tell me the secret to peace." The hermit simply led him to the river and pointed at the water. Confused, the man sat by the river, waiting for an answer. Hours passed in silence. Finally, the man noticed something. The river never stopped flowing, yet it was calm in its depth. It carried everything, twigs, leaves, storms, but it never lost its stillness within. In that silence, he understood, peace is not found in words, it is experienced in stillness. From that day, the man began to listen more and speak less, and his life changed forever. Silence heals in ways words never can. It gives your mind a chance to rest, your heart a chance to breathe, and your soul a chance to speak. Have you noticed how after a storm, the world feels fresh and renewed? That is what silence does for your spirit. It clears the clutter and restores clarity. When you enter silence, you stop resisting life and start flowing with it. You learn that not every question needs an immediate answer. You understand that healing takes time, and silence gives you that time. Instead of searching for peace outside, you create it inside. You don't need to escape the world to heal, you just need moments of stillness. And those moments can change everything. Life moves fast, and in that rush, we forget the art of pausing. Silence gives you that sacred pause, a moment between what was and what will be. In that pause, life becomes clear. You realize how much energy you spend chasing things that don't truly matter. The pause helps you breathe before reacting, reflect before deciding, and feel before speaking. Silence is not about doing nothing, it's about giving meaning to everything. It's the difference between living and merely existing. When you pause, you take control back from the chaos and return to the center of your being. That pause is power. And it's always available to you, if you choose to embrace it. Silence is not just for meditation rooms or retreats, it can live in your everyday moments. It can be found in the stillness of early morning, the quiet of a cup of tea, the pause before you speak. You don't need hours of silence to feel its magic, you need intention. A few mindful breaths before a meeting, a quiet walk without your phone, a moment of gratitude before bed, these are all ways to invite silence into your life. The more you create space for stillness, the less chaos will control you. Silence is not an escape from life, it is a way to live more deeply within it. Even in the loudest world, you can carry silence in your heart. Long ago, a young monk loved music so much that he always carried a flute. But his teacher noticed he was restless and told him, "Go to the mountains and do not play your flute until the silence teaches you its song." The monk obeyed and sat in the stillness of the mountains for days, then weeks, then months. At first, the silence felt empty. He longed for the sound of his flute. But as time passed, he began to hear the music in everything, the wind, the rustling leaves, the distant water. One day, he picked up his flute and played, not from memory, but from the silence within him. And that melody touched the hearts of all who heard it because it carried the sound of true peace. Silence had taught him what no song ever could, that the most beautiful music is born from stillness. When you spend time in silence, you begin to hear the voice beneath the noise, the voice of your soul. This voice does not shout, it whispers. It doesn't demand, it invites. It reminds you of what truly matters, what brings you joy, what feels like home. The problem is not that life is too short, the problem is that it's too loud. And in that loudness, we lose ourselves. But silence brings you back. It strips away what is false and reveals what is real. If you've ever wondered why you feel lost, maybe it's because you've been listening to the world more than your own heart. The answer has always been inside you, waiting for you to listen. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not the absence of life, it is the essence of it. In silence, you meet yourself. In silence, you meet peace. And in that peace, you discover freedom. The world will always be loud, but you don't have to be. You can choose to carry silence within you wherever you go. You can choose to create moments where the noise fades and your soul speaks. And when you do, you will see life differently. Because silence is not the end, it is where the magic of life truly begins.